Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit. Am I the a-hole? This one's from user DonkeyImpossible292. Am I the a-hole for getting mad that my oldest son didn't let my youngest win a game? I have 4 kids. 2 are relevant to the story. My 10-year-old son will call Jack, and 8-year-old son who will call Tony. They were playing Mario Kart with each other on their 3DSs. My oldest son knows to let the youngest win. Otherwise, he'll throw a tantrum. The boys swapped DSs because Tony's needed to be charged, and Jack didn't really feel like moving from his spot. Like I said, Jack knows to let Tony win, but for some reason, he didn't this time. Tony started his usual "I didn't win" tantrum and threw Jack's 3DS across the room. The console broke. The top screen came off, the bottom and the buttons are unresponsive. Jack was upset, and that's why I got mad at him. He had been told repeatedly to let Tony win to avoid a tantrum. My husband and my 2 girls, 16 and 17, are saying that I should make Tony give Jack his 3DS. But I think it's Jack's own fault for giving him his one and then not letting him come in first place. Jack is refusing to share anything with Tony and has hardly spoken to me in days. So I'm left to deal with the constant tantrums on my own. Am I the a-hole? The judgment is, you're the a-hole. Now let's take a look at the top comments. Sev's Mama 21217 says, "You're the a-hole and a crappy parent. It's not Jack's responsibility to help you handle Tony's tantrums. You do not reward bad behavior. Tony throws tantrums to get his way, and you just go along with it. He has you trained. Tony is old enough to understand that there are consequences to his actions. Having to give his brother his toy is a natural consequence of breaking his brother's toy. Get a grip before Tony grows into an entitled adult with no sense of accountability." Stripped Badger says, "You're the a-hole. Jack is the victim in this situation. If Tony is having tantrums, it's because you're failing to enforce appropriate consequences to make him grow out of it. Jack is not an instigator. He shouldn't have to let his brother win all the time. He should be allowed to win as well. And if your fear was dealing with tantrums, then you must have been setting this expectation since before Tony was 8. So you should know very well this isn't necessary. Jack is the one that should be receiving an apology and appropriate recompense, both from Tony and from you." Actual Advice A-hole says, "You're the a-hole times 1,000. What kind of lesson are you giving your youngest here? He's long past old enough to know that in any competitive game, someone's gotta win and someone's gotta lose. You could have long since turned situations like this into teachable moments. Instead, you're deeply enabling Tony to be the spoiled brat that he is. And to make matters worse, you yelled at Jack for it. Your husband and daughters are spot on here. It's called consequences. Maybe if you taught Tony sooner that his actions have them, you wouldn't be in this situation. This is the kind of crap that, if left unchecked, ends up with Jack going no contact with you at the first opportunity when he's an adult, and Tony in a failure to launch situation where he's still living with you when he's 40. However, it's not too late. Reevaluate and change course. Where is your husband in the whole active parenting situation? He's not off the hook either. Parenting needs to be consistent across the board, and not 100% on you." Well, there's not much for me to say here because OP is definitely the a-hole, and it's clear the community called her out on being a crappy parent. I truly don't get why she came here to ask if she was the a-hole or a 10-year-old kid. Like, really? Who's the a-hole here? Me, a 33-year-old adult who can't teach my kids about accountability, or my 10-year-old that got upset because his brother broke his toy having a tantrum? Yeah, OP, any way you slice this situation, you come out as the a-hole and a bad parent at the same time. Now, of course, as some commenters pointed out, this is both OP's and her husband's responsibility, not only OP's. Anyways, what do you guys think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comment section, and in the meantime, let's move on with the update to see what happened after this. Hi. So it's been a few months since I posted that, and I was mostly rightfully dragged for it. There's been enough breakthroughs for an update, so here we go. As I mentioned in comments, Tony had unmedicated ADHD. And after taking him to his doctor to start the medication process, we were told that it wasn't ADHD, but most likely autism spectrum disorder. The doctor was in fact right. However, Reddit was right. I was enabling his behavior. We, myself, my husband, and Tony, are all in group and individual counseling now. And on to Jack. I did not make Tony give Jack his 3DS, but Santa delivered Jack an early Christmas present, a brand new Nintendo Switch. Tony isn't allowed to touch it. There's much less tolerance for Tony's tantrums now, and his behavior has improved massively. He doesn't get what he wants just because he'll have a tantrum. Now he understands that he'll be put in a room on his own, and if he comes out before he's calmed down, he will not be acknowledged. Overall, a pretty positive update. Thank you all for your advice and for telling me I was in fact the a-hole. Opie, this is great. I am so happy that the community could help you and that you got to really understand what was going on. And not just that you are actually doing something about it and things are getting better. That is the best outcome anyone could hope for. So all there's left to say is the best to you, OP, to Tony, to Jack, to your whole family. Hopefully things will just keep improving. Take care, OP. And now let's move on to the next post. This one's from user Puzzle-Headed Map 222. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter it's her fault she has no pictures of herself? Okay, so I, 54 female, have 5 kids. 3 bio, 2 step. The issue is with my eldest, Clem, who is 26 female. The only pictures I have of Clem are from the day she was born to around her 8th birthday, but none after that. She would ruin any picture she was in by making funny faces, hiding from the camera, making weird signs with her hands, or by messing with other people. It was like this until she was 12, when she started to straight up refuse. We would tell her to come for the family photo, but she would refuse. We never forced her, but would gently encourage her. She even refused school pictures. I have no pictures of birthdays, graduations, prom photos, holidays, or days out with her in them. It broke my heart because I don't have any pictures of her growing up. Family photos look odd because she's not in them. Clem is 26 now and is pregnant with her first child. She brought her significant other over for dinner, and after we're looking at photo albums. We got to hers and she saw hers was nearly empty. She asked where all her pictures were, and I told her she refused to have any taken. She got all teary-eyed and told me to stop joking. At this point, I'm very annoyed. I told her I'm not joking and that she did this to herself. I told her if she had swallowed her pride and had even one picture, we wouldn't be like this today. She got angry and thought I had printed out the ones she had messed up. She got super upset and went to sit in the car. The next day, today, I get a few texts from family members calling me an a-hole for putting her on blast and humiliating her. Am I the a-hole? The judgment is not the a-hole. Now let's take a look at the top comments. Individual ad 9213 says, not the a-hole. But why not just give her her old negatives that you did not print so that she can see for herself? OP says, that's a good idea. They're on my computer, so it's not like I deleted all the photos of her. The issue was that she made some rude gesture or poses in many of them, which I am obviously not comfortable putting on the wall. She does know that she messed up pictures with her gestures and poses, and she obviously can't forget about her aversion to cameras, so I don't know why she was so surprised. Consistent Leopard 71 says, information request. How is this just now coming up? Are you saying that there are family photos hanging in your home that do not include your daughter? Is she really just looking at this photo album for the first time at 26 years old? OP responds, first question, yes. None of the family photos include my daughter, unless they were taken before she turned 8. Second question, yes and no. We would bring them out at Christmas and stuff, but she would always cringe, say she didn't care, and went to her room. I've told her previously that her album is pretty scarce, but I guess she wasn't aware of the scale. Siamese Cats 3 says, not the a-hole. I hate having my picture taken and I look awkward in all photos taken of me. But I now, at 22, have realized the consequences of my actions, and I try really hard to get pictures of myself. I used to have long hair to my knees, and now it's above my shoulders. I have no photos of my long hair because I would pin it back or shy away from the camera. You were damned if you did and damned if you didn't in this situation. If you placed a screaming, crying child in front of the camera, she would basically never trust you, and now you have a crying adult asking why you respected her wishes. OP responds, "That's what's so confusing to me. I could have easily made her take part in every shot, no matter how she was feeling. Panic attacks be damned, but that's awful. That's going to mess her up psychologically. Now, the time has passed and I respected her wishes. I'm the bad guy for not forcing her to take them." OP's edit. Thank you for all your replies. I do want to clear something up. Whilst I agree it was a crappy move not to include goofy or rude pictures, that's not what Clem has an issue with. She's upset that I have no pictures of her from age 12 to 18 to fill the album with, and the few that I do have cause extreme reactions for Clem. I can't fill an album with pictures I never took. That's what she's upset about, not the omission of goofy or rude photos. Edit 2. To those of you saying, who cares about rude gestures or goofy faces? I didn't realize this needed saying, but the family photos weren't just for me. They were for everyone involved. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents on all sides, etc. I can guarantee none of them want an 8-year-old making the eat out gesture in what is meant to be their nice family photo. Edit 3. It's kind of sad to see so many people assume that because a child has anxiety, that I berate them whenever they mess around when taking a photo. I never yelled at Clem for making silly faces, would simply encourage her to stop and smile, but her rude gesture and faces would ramp up. But I guess that's what you expect on this sub. Everyone hates their kids. Yeah, OP, like the last commenter said, you were damned if you did, damned if you didn't. There are some things that you do have to get your kids to do sometimes, like eating their vegetables or cleaning their room or, that kind of stuff. Healthy stuff, of course. But taking pictures, that's something that if they don't want to participate in, that's fine, right? But then, they don't get to complain when they don't have any pictures. On a side note, I had no idea what the eat out gesture meant. I thought eat out was like, hey, we're gonna go eat out for dinner or something like that. But I googled it, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want an 8-year-old making that gesture on a family photo too. Anyways, to sum this up, OP, you're not the a-hole. What do you guys think? What would you have done in OP's shoes whenever there was a family picture coming up? Would you have made your kids sit down and behave, or just say, you know what, just go play and we'll take the picture without you? Let me know what you think in the comments section, and let's move on with the update to see if they solved the situation. So, it's been less than a week because I wanted to make amends as soon as possible. So I printed off all the pictures and put them in the album. They didn't fill it, but I made a spread on one of the pages that said, "Go make new memories," with a picture of her and her fiancé. I put a lot of work into making it look cute. I called her and asked to talk. She arrived and we had a long discussion. I asked if she had any trauma or self-esteem issues, in a more tactful way, obviously. And she said no. She simply did not like her photo taken and adopted the behavior of screeching and kicking to avoid photos. She did say she had anxiety and that's why she had panic attacks, but that it was mostly because she was gassing herself up, if that makes sense. I knew she had anxiety, but not that she gassed herself up, if that makes sense. By the way, gassing herself up are her words, not mine. Regarding her visit, the one that kicked things off, she explained that she was embarrassed by her behavior and even more so when it was exposed to her fiancé. She said she didn't quite realize how much time she had lost and that it was very emotional time for her. I apologized for my wording during our spat and we both made up. I even showed her the post and we read the comments together. We had quite a laugh at all the armchair psychologists and internet detectives that claimed just because she knew a sexual gesture as a child, she was in danger. Some people were writing borderline fan fiction and rewriting my entire history with my daughter based on one post. That's talent. After a little bit of talking, I brought out the album and gave it to her. She was happy, and she seemed to take responsibility over the fact she refused to have pics taken. I told her I had printed out the candid ones from when she was 12 to 18 and asked if she wanted them. She said no. She really liked the page with her and her fiancé, which made me super happy. So that's that. You might find this hard to believe, but other than this incident, which we are working through, we have a very good relationship. OP's edit. Wow, thank you for all your kind comments and rewards. I'm slowly working through all the comments and replying to as many as I can. Smiley face. Well, OP, that's a really good outcome and once again proves that communication is best in relationships. Your daughter explained why she acted up the last time you guys were together. She was just embarrassed and she took responsibility for, not wanting to take pictures as a kid, and she can now move forward from that. It's also really nice what you did about the making new memories thing, and it's cool that she liked it. So let's hope from now on she gets to take cool pictures and that her kids allow her to take pictures of them. So on that note, I'm just gonna say all the best to you, OP, and hopefully your daughter's upcoming wedding is really nice. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave the links in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.